but that is our text feed, my sons. And thankfully, finally got here with coffee. She's pregnant, getting fat, and slowing down a little bit. Thank you. Yes.
So when is this podcast getting posted, Alan? Okay, because technically she hasn't told many people that. So let's hope this podcast comes out after.
No problem. There you go. All right, edit. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Family Business with the Alessis, where family is everybody's business. I'm Steve Alessi, and I'm very excited today because we've got a couple of rock stars. My sons, my son Christopher, my son-in-law Christopher is with us in the podcast booth. Listen, if you like what you're hearing and seeing here, then why don't you just reach out to us. We can get you some text updates of things that are going on. So text family to 302-524-0800. It's a great way just to be updated on what we are actually doing. And here, if you're watching us on YouTube, thankfully we're over 4,500 subscribers at this time. So if you like us, then go ahead and subscribe and share us to as many of your friends that you think will like what we're doing. Now, you're going to like today because it's just guys. It's all testosterone that is here in the podcast booth. You want to say hello, gentlemen?
Hello, gentlemen.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. I always like coming on the podcast and just sharing thoughts and things that are happening in life.
There you go.
You had a real good podcast a couple weeks back. You and Steph.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good.
They did good?
Yeah.
Oh, great. I listened to every single podcast. So it was a good one. I got to go back and listen to it. No. All right. This is the first time in my life up to this point that I am looking up at my sons. So, yes, I call them both my sons. One birth son, one's, married son. But that is our text feed, my sons. And thankfully, Melanie finally got here with coffee. She's pregnant, getting fat, and slowing down a little bit. Thank you, Melanie.
My pleasure.
Yes.
So when is this podcast getting posted, Alan? Okay, because technically she hasn't told many people that. So let's hope this podcast comes out after.
No problem. There you go. All right, edit. Monique, good to have you pregnant with us, Monique. Okay. So, we're gonna be talking about guy stuff today.
Yeah.
So the first guy stuff I want to talk about with you is the word swole. Chris, guys, what does swole, SWOLE, mean?
Apparently it means you.
What is it?
So it means being real muscular.
Oh,
It means you've taken care of your temple. Yeah. You got it.
Swollen. Short for swollen.
You know, I've actually never realized that until just now.
What the
Thank
word
you for
means?
that.
So where did we see this word come up recently, Bubs?
Well, apparently, Pastor Steve, my dad, he got a comment on his last post saying this pastor is swole.
There you go.
Look at that.
Not too bad.
Because he stopped making excuses.
Yeah, finally.
Got in the gym.
Had to. And today, gosh, man, Mom's with us. And we had an early day on Wednesday. And Wednesday morning is supposed to be really the only day of the week that I have to protect is the mornings.
So you can get your workout in.
So I can get my workout on. And because we had some things come up and schedules got a little behind, I couldn't protect it. So I had to get up early. So we were up at, 7 o'clock at the gym. Mom, myself, Gabby, Lauren, and pretty cool. So we got it in bright and early, and I am so sore. I want to take a nap already, and it's not even noon. So, guy stuff. We're coming up on Father's Day. So, what I wanted to talk about is your sons. You both got sons. How does that feel to be a father of sons, Muiña?
It feels like like a responsibility, but also you want to make sure you pass on the right things, I think.
Right.
You want to form him so that he can be able to be an independent man one day. Well, I think still figuring that out myself, but you want him to be trained up the right way.
Right. Chris?
Well, that was profound. It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's the pride of my life.
I was going to say, how much pride do you have in the fact that you got a namesake? And we don't want to make it, men that are out there listening that have girls alone, don't have a son, feel bad. But it feels pretty good to have a namesake, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. I got to tell you, I would have never thought I'd be the kind of person that's like up for a fight. My dad always taught me to talk my way out of stuff. But these days, because I got this, there's more
Beast.
testosterone in my home. I feel like, you know what, man? I feel like I'm down for a fight. Who wants to fight? And it really is the most fun.
Yeah.
This little, he's almost 2. And
almost 2. He's like, how what does he look like? He's 4?
Yes. Yeah. He will go to the part of the park that the 4 to 7-year-olds go to, but he's just a blast. And then little Matthew, they just keep up. They run together everywhere. They've got a great little relationship.
That was a cute little video yesterday you sent where he's putting the headsets on.
Did you see it?
Yeah, with the headphones.
So cute. So cute. Matthew just kind of sit there looking at him. So Chris's boy is Marino. Muiña's boy is Matthew. So precious, man. So precious. But this gives you, really as a man, of course, it gives you a sense of pride. But with that pride comes a pretty huge responsibility, because he is going to look at you and you're going to be the one that he measures life up against. And, if you're a hustler, he's going to be a hustler. If you're not, then he won't. So the point, I guess, what I love seeing with our sons and my grandsons is the fact that we're putting them outside in an outside environment a whole lot. Yes, we enjoy when they settle in and give us a little time to power down by watching some television inside. But we're seeing you guys push them outside more and more. So how are we, and why are we doing that?
Well, for Chris, he just opens the sliding glass door and kicks his son outside.
And he goes.
Whenever I stop by, the door is always wide open and the kids are out in their little backyard, not much bigger than this room.
Yeah.
And they're just having a blast back there.
That's cool.
Yeah, Matthew loves to be outside. Anytime I open that door, he sprints from wherever he is in the house and he runs out there, and he'll spend 30 minutes out there by himself. I'll just close the door again and he'll just, we can see him, but he just lays in the dirt and throws rocks and
eats caterpillar poop. And
sometimes,
it's a thing.
Oh, well, it's all right. Your boy, Marino, ate sand.
I only say that because Marino's eaten just about everything else.
Yeah.
No, so for us, I think it's actually funny. So, not to compare them, but when you look at Gia is more than fine really doing anything. Whatever the group wants to do, she'll do it. She'll sit and watch a movie. She'll stay inside. She'll go outside. She's great. Wherever the people are, that's where Gia's at. Matthew and Marino have zero desire to sit still unless Danny Go is on. And if you watch Danny Go, it's probably the most testosterone-filled little kids show. It's the only thing that'll get them to stop. Everything else, they just want to run. And so it's kind of like, if they stay indoors, they're going to break everything and me. So they have to go outside. Yeah. And so luckily, because of our association where we live, like, there's a great little park right in the front.
There is.
We spend a lot of time just right out there, or we let them go right outside. And like Chris was saying, we just let us know when you want to come back in.
Yeah, but you can't leave Marino out on your patio too long.
He'll eat the soil.
No, not even that. Yes, he'll eat the soil, but all your plants he would pull right out of the soil.
Has pulled.
He has.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And that's a fun moment. Do I want to be a good gardener or at peace right now?
Yeah. Yeah. But, that in itself, we're so accustomed to keeping kids out of dirt. And let's, talk little girls too, because it's good that we do see Gianna. She loves being outside and she has no problem. I mean, the moment this girl comes in, she wants her shoes off. She loves running around without any shoes. And Marino, we can't even keep the shoes big enough on his feet. He's just growing like a monster. But they're outside. And we are so conditioned to run up, and when they're walking around, no, get your shoes on, get your shoes on. No, don't touch that. Don't touch that dirt. It's dirty. Oh my God. And we're running around with wipies to try to disinfect their hands. And yet getting them outside where they're chewing on rocks, trying to eat a plant leaf or some doo-doo that they saw and picked up and didn't know it was crap. That's what kids do. And it's
good
okay.
For them. It's good for them. So last time they went, the last grandparent day, there's some sand in your backyard. So Marino ate some. And for like a day, we saw some in Matthew's hair.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious because the next day we're changing Marino's diaper and there's the sand. And then like 4 days later, Matthew's going down this line and he kind of bumped. And when he did, all of this sand came out of his hair. And we look at Stephanie and Stephanie's going, I've washed his hair every night. And there's still sand in there. And it's just like none of those kids got sick.
Yeah.
They're fine. It didn't hurt anybody. Just give them a great bath at the end of the day and you're fine.
No, that's important. Was that how you were raised, Muiña? Outside?
Yeah. I was raised a lot outside. I mean, I think both of us were raised before the day and age of internet and smartphones. That didn't come out until, the mid 2000s. And by that point, we were all already in college. So it wasn't really a part of our life. Our life was go outside and play.
Mm-hmm.
They had Game Boys and stuff, but I was never interested in that.
Right.
Like electronics. I always wanted to be outside.
Yeah.
That's why his Instagram handle is Adventure Chris.
Yeah.
That his wife posts for him on.
Yeah, I'm not interested in electronics. Exactly.
So wait, did you actually post the one the other day?
No.
So she posted that one too?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody, if you saw Chris's post saying, I'm here with my favorite, and it was a picture of him and Stephanie posted that
day
morning.
night. Yes, she posted, I'm here with my favorite on
But I was the real person in the date night, in real
you
life. That's what matters.
So I was a little different, but I was outdoors a lot. I played sports my entire life, so I was at sports. I went to a school that was basically outdoors. I mean, if you think about it, outside of the actual classrooms, all the hallways, everything was open aired, everything was outdoors. And while I definitely was a homebody, the older I've gotten, the more especially the more like we dive into our careers and stuff, the more I just put my hands in dirt.
Yeah.
And so me and Stephanie were talking about it the other day. She was telling me, Chris, you're not the one who goes outdoors. And I'm like, excuse me, when we go to the farm, you guys don't see me.
Yeah.
I'm outdoors the whole time, taking care of that stuff. And it's just, it's become really healthy for me. It's helped me. And it's been great for even Marino because he climbs our couch and then cannonballs on top of us.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
Like I thought
he's a beast.
I thought he broke my shoulder the other day. And so the only way we really have any type of peace is if we let him run around outside until he's tired.
As much as I hate the fact that, you got to build a sandbox I'm afraid the cats in the neighborhood might come and ruin it. There's something to be said about a sandbox where you put toys like kids on the beach, you give them shovels and a little pail, and they're going to go crazy just playing in that dirt. And, we go to the beach now, some of us, and we don't like to take our flip-flops off for fear we're going to get dirt on between our toes. We got to walk on the big towel that we lay out. But our kids are over there. They got dirt everywhere. Sand is everywhere. And it's so good for them. But we almost keep kids from doing that because we don't like to get dirty. But if we're more outdoorsy, then there's a higher chance that they're going to just get involved and be outdoorsy. And I know there are reports.
I was just going to bring that up.
Bring it up, man, because there are reports that show it's healthier for them.
Yeah, no, so I don't have the facts in front of me, or the figures, but ADHD and ADD levels go down when kids are outside, and spend more time outside. They found that anger issues go down when kids are outside. They have found kids sleep better when they're outside over the long haul. They have found that kids have better social skills over their life when they're outside more often. And there's actual health benefits to just literally letting the sun touch your skin. So they've actually found that anxiety levels go down when people put their hands in dirt and work with dirt. And psychology brain in me says that that's not the dirt, it's getting outside and using your hands for something that's not electronic.
And outside of psychology, physiologically, you get the vitamin D from the sun, which is essential. You have the cleaner oxygen from the plants. When I taught high school, I had this big plant in my room that I had on wheels, on casters. And every time we would take like an exam or a test, as a joke, I would roll it around to the students who needed the most help, and the kids would crack up. But there are studies that show that like plants in hospital rooms, plants in classrooms, plants in office spaces, they improve the psychology of the workers or the students or the patients. And there is a physiological, like a health side to that too. So
Chris,
how
I've
much
known
more
you for
just taking
almost
your kids
5
out?
years, and I didn't know that you did that in
That
class.
plant, I know.
That's that's such a good bid.
I can imagine. I would have had a forest around me trying to get help in school. Thank you, teachers.
They would send us outside, but you just go take the test out there.
But so, just so you know, you planted some new herbs in the garden. They're looking great.
Really?
They're looking great. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's also a great
Daily watering every other day because
herbs is going to depend entirely on how much sun they're getting, but I would
Yeah.
just pay attention to the soil. If the
Yeah.
soil starts to look
they're looking
dry,
good.
just wet them.
They're looking
Herbs like
good.
water; they'll be fine.
That in itself, you build a sandbox, something for your kids to play in. Maybe you don't want to put, a box, get one of those plastic pools and fill it up like we do when we have the events at the Dadeland campus. Put some sand in it. They get in there. They just play.
Forever.
They like that.
Dad, I have that book right there up next. I
Mhm.
wrote while I was living in my apartment.
Yeah.
The biggest issue that I kept finding was if I was inside, my TV was there, my Xbox was there, chores were there, and I could never get myself to actually sit down and write indoors. But I had a little tiny balcony, no bigger than that couch, and if I could find a way to get out there, I wouldn't, literally just being outside, the TV wouldn't call to me, the Xbox wouldn't call to me, the chores wouldn't call to me. And so I had to find a hobby that would get me out there. So I did. Before I knew it, I'm finding considerable time to write and get a book out. And I think that's what's actually helped me become a writer.
Yeah.
So if that's kind of the result of, if I'm indoors, there's all of these things calling to me. But if I go outside, things slow down and maybe the best of me starts to come out. That's really what eventually became a love for gardening, which has created a great life for Marino, because I think of the guy I used to be that would never want to go outside. That would have been so hard for Marino. So I really do think, like you just said, all the science behind it. The reality is we're probably stressed out because we're not outdoors enough.
I rolled the windows down in my car the other day just to it was a beautiful night, just to get fresh air in the car. Everything is we're just always in. Everything's a bubble. We live in these little bubbles. Even the malls. The reason the falls were so crazy. We loved going to the falls was because it got us outside at the mall, as opposed to being at Dadeland where everything was inside. Of course, it's raining, you go to Dadeland. If it's not, beautiful day, you go to the falls. It gets you outside. So in our family, and I don't consider myself like an outdoorsy guy, but I like to get out in the outdoors. So what do? We go hunting. When we go hunting, we're up super early. We'll get out there in pitch black, run around in this darkness to get to our tree stand. And we love seeing that daybreak, sunrise, all the birds, all the nature. That just does something. That so reinvigorates us. We love being out there. Then when we are at the farm, we're pretty much, we try to come in at night to watch some television because all day long we are outside. We're working on something. There's always a project. We jump on the
Tractor.
four-wheelers or the tractor. We get outside. A couple of weeks we're going up, get ready for camp. I cannot wait to get on that tractor and just run up and down those fields to clean things up. It's intoxicating. Once you get out, you get used to it. You want to do it more and you feel good, because then we come in at night and we're like, let's watch a series or a movie. 5 minutes in, we're all dozing. We're exhausted.
Do you know they say if you take one swipe through your popular page on Instagram, just take a minute and just kind of look through that. They say that you have been exposed to more information right there than whole lifetimes of people that were born in the 20s and the 30s, that we have now become so accustomed to being exposed to content and information. It can't be good for us. So then you get outside, you put your phone down, and all of a sudden it's like we catch up with the pace that every other generation that's ever lived at.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the important thing. I don't think technology is bad. I just think that, when you get outside, it's like, what's crazy? If we go into the woods, that's the exact same pace Jesus would have walked around at.
Yeah.
It's the exact same pace that anybody that came after and anyone that came before would have experienced life at. Like, the pace of nature doesn't change. And that's really a cool thought, that it's like, okay, that's actually the pace that my brain probably needs to be operating at. Meanwhile, we can go doom scroll and be exposed to more information than any of those generations ever were. Like, at some point, that's not healthy. So I really do think the word is healing. You get outside, put your phone down, and before you know it, your brain literally starts to change. And that's what George has done for us.
Yeah.
It's like, it's become less of an actual vacation for our family and more of like a vacation for our hearts and minds.
I don't know much of a vacation. We don't vacate much at all.
That's my point. But the pace is so
moving.
different.
Well, I think we all get our tanks filled through that active rest that they call it, and it's by being outside.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Steph and I, we on our days off, we find a way to just be outside, whether it's a bike ride. We have the zoo annual pass, so we'll go to the zoo and walk around. Last Friday, we walked the Key Biscayne Bridge with the kids. We will go to the beach. Whenever we book a vacation, it's to an outdoor place.
Yeah.
Because it's how we get refreshed.
Yep.
And I've noticed if I don't have that at least one day on our Friday or Saturday, our days off, if I don't go out and spend outside, the next week I'm more tired, or the stress isn't gone. It's like it doesn't refresh you
right
like you should. Just one day.
So think about the effect on our kids.
Yeah.
Because if we need that, and like you said, I didn't get an iPhone until I was in college. And even that, the iPhones weren't what they are now. Our kids are going to grow up in a world where that technology is just they're going to be so inundated by it. We're helping them establish healthier rhythms even now.
Yeah.
By being outdoors.
Yeah.
And our kids want to, like you mentioned, they want to do what we like to do.
Mm-hmm.
At least that was my experience growing up. I just wanted to be with my dad.
Yeah.
Whatever he was into, I wanted to be into.
Yeah.
So if we're into, hunting and fishing and, bike riding, whatever that is, gardening, then our kids most likely are going to want to like that and do that as well.
Yeah. Something as simple as getting outside with your kid and washing your own car.
Yeah.
Teaching your kids, they're going to make a mess. They're going to make a mess. They're going to spill the bucket, and, all your suds are going to have to be refilled up again. Something as simple as that, getting your kids out. Yeah. Get them wet. Hit them with the hose because it's cool. They're excited. Anything that can entice them to get out, and you're doing things out of the house, is good for them.
It's great for them.
And it wears them out. You want to wear your kids out so they're not staying up forever late at night. They sleep better that way. We notice it when we have what we call Grandparent Day, and you guys are, kind enough to bring the kids over, and we start usually in the house to settle down a little bit, get them something. But then when you guys are gone, we try to get them outdoors and we get them on the swings. To me, all of that was such a great investment, to put up a little swing outside get the golf cart. It's such a good investment. When it's nap time, Mom and I put them on the cart and we just go through the neighborhood to get them outside, turn on the radio and our phones, music, and they're listening to all this music. And next thing you know it, they're falling asleep.
About to say, then they all knock out.
It's perfect. And we bring them back home, put them in the beds, and they'll sleep for an hour or so, if not more. But it's that outdoors that really does it for them.
Yeah.
Right now, we got swim lessons going on. Trying to help your kids learn how to swim. Get them out of the house. We want to put them in the pool.
Yeah.
You were saying.
Well, no, it's funny because as we're looking for our next house, there is a non-negotiable. Rochelle has hers. I have mine. But the only one we agree on is we need a yard with enough space for a garden, for Marino to throw the ball around with his future friends and his cousins, which is essentially like his brother right now. I want chickens. Mm-hmm. We want to be able to do all that because I don't want my kids, when he's 12 and 13, the only thing he can talk about is, the sports like the Dolphins and whatever game he's into.
Yeah.
I want to raise my son to be going out, grabbing eggs, bringing them inside.
Mm-hmm.
Going, like the other day, Gia at your parents' house was picking up the chickens. And it's so cool that
sweet.
Both of her grandparents own chickens. She's surrounded by that. And there's just something healthy about it, and it'll follow them into their life. Mom, to this day, talks about the garden her grandfather had, the things they used to do as children. That means what we're raising our kids doing now will follow, like those stories will follow them when they're grandparents.
Yeah.
So it's important to put a little intentionality behind this season of their life. Yes, it takes more work, but we all have a coach, and he really challenged us to win what he calls phase 3 of the day. Phase 1, you're in the morning before anyone wakes up. Phase 2, when you're at work. Win phase 3 like you'd want to win at work. Win the driveway. When you go at home, don't just turn off and turn on the TV so your kid will leave you alone. Like, go and win.
Yeah.
And part of that is getting them outdoors and building a chicken coop like you guys did, and gardening for me, and letting Marino ruin a thing or two. Like, we took him to a park yesterday after work, and he chased birds forever. Yeah. And it's nerve-wracking as heck, but it's like, you know what? Okay, let him run.
Yeah.
Because these are the stories that when he's 50, he'll be like, I remember my parents raised us with chickens.
Yeah. Yeah. No, very important. And here in South Florida, we have so many things you can do.
Yeah.
To, like you said, the beach, go walk the bridge.
That zoo's great.
The zoo, yeah, we've done that as a family, all met up and did that, thanks to the Bernaldos who bought us yearly passes, and the family, Mary and I, so that's cool. We found a place down south the other day. Mary and I took the grandkids to.
Oh, yeah.
That was phenomenal. That was all outside. Can't remember the name of it.
Berry Farm.
What was it?
Berry Farm, I think.
Berry Farm. And perfect weather for it. And we spent like 2 hours out there, had lunch, but just getting them jumping around, getting dirty. I had to take, when we got home, I had to wash all of their shoes because it was so dusty. But it was cool to get them out there. Just push them. The Everglades, we have a beautiful ecosystem out here that is just so beautiful. Go out, you see snakes, you see gators in the distance, you see fish, you see all those things that's right in our backyard. That's really educational for the kids too. Get them interested in those kind of things. It's so important just to get them out of the house. And I would say especially of young boys.
Oh, yeah, they need it. Well, they say that young boys, they learn to talk later, they learn to read later, they learn all that later. That's not the case for our boys, but they're both pretty smart. I think part of that's because we raise them in church literally every day. They're around a lot of people. But I think the other reason is our kids are outside, and so they see a bird. So when they come inside and we have a little flashcard and it's like, Marino, what's that? He'll say bird.
Yeah.
Because he chases them forever. He loves animals. He loves all that. He loves those outdoor things. So even at 2 and 18 months, our boys they're not behind.
Mm-hmm.
And the other reason's because Gianna's a great teacher. Little Gia.
She's patient.
Yeah, she is.
So funny. Well, your boys are, I know at least Matthew is. We'll see how Marino's very cautious. Big feet, he's cautious. Matthew's going to break an arm.
Hey, maybe not even his. Maybe somebody else's.
Yeah, he's pretty daring.
He's very daring. He's climbing up that playground at the house, and he's going down the slide. He did it head first the other day. And then remember, he was jumping up, and when he'd jump up, he'd come over and just give me a high five. He was so proud of himself. And then 18 months old, and then he's running around the back climbing. That's that second child thing. There's something about that. First child's a little more
Well, then
cautious.
Marino the other day at the pool in Stewart, the kid wouldn't come off the edge of the pool until I'm ready to go inside.
Yep.
And then it was like he just learned in an instant how to belly flop.
Jump,
And
jump,
dude,
jump.
I'm talking like I thought at some point I'd see blood come out of his nose because he was going face first into the water like 100 times over.
Yeah. That's it. Put them in that environment. They're going to acclimate and try things and be daring. That's what it should be about. And it's okay if they turn an ankle, break an arm. It's okay because
they'll heal.
Well, that's what you got insurance for, and it's a great story. I broke my arm 2 times growing up. Are you kidding? Mom's trying to impress a girl climbing up a palm tree, and yeah, Chris broke his.
Still can't bend it.
Still can't bend it because I thought he was faking.
Yeah, he did.
He broke his finger, and I thought he was pretending, so I wouldn't take him to the doctor until they finally told me.
And for 3 weeks, the guy over at the school would make me stick my hand in ice cold water. Then he'd take it off and he'd bend it and do it. When we got there, the doctor's like, "Yeah, this thing's completely shattered."
That was terrible. Oh my gosh!
And look, I'm fine.
You're fine. You survived. Oh my. Well, that's the important thing that we're trying to put out here is that of our kids, boys, girls, we got to get them outside, and it's going to be on us to do so.
Yep.
If you have an outdoorsy kind of kid, don't be so lazy that you stay in and keep them from being able to go out there. No, go ahead and do it. Get them into soccer. Get them into sports. Don't put them in dance. Get them outside. Come on, and let them develop into who they're supposed to be. They're going to be a little daring. They're going to get dirty. Be okay with dirty. It's okay that they go to sleep sometimes dirty. They don't have to be, just these perfect little clean little things that you have inside your house. They're meant to be outside. Teach them how to shoot. Teach them how to throw a ball. Teach them how to hunt. Teach them what plants are which and what snakes are which.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like when we do go fishing with Muiña, because he knows the fish. He knows which is legal size. He knows all those things. And somebody taught him that. And that's cool. Last story I got to tell you. It's not just for guys. It is for girls. So you mentioned Mom earlier and how cool it was that she can tell you about going out on walks with her grandfather. And when we go to the woods at the farm, she's always like, stomp your feet when we're walking in the woods. Have heavy feet because it unsettles any snakes that were nearby. So we go to a lumber mill. We've been there.
Yeah.
Both of you have been there. And we needed some wood. So she's with me. And the guy who owns it says, "Hey, listen." And we had 2 builders, two other worker guys with us because they were going to help load up the wood that we were getting. And the owner of it says, "Hey, man, I got a blue hole," which was a pond-like, "in the back. Come on. I want to show you my blue hole." So we go walking up into the woods, about 50 to 100 yards up into the woods to see this blue hole. It was beautiful. The water, it was a spring coming up out of the ground, and it was just gorgeous. A natural resource right there. So as we come walking up, mind you, there's 4 men, all right, and 1 woman. And these guys that are there are all outdoorsy. We walk up to this blue hole. We're all looking in it, and Mom was the only one who said, "Hey, there's a water moccasin." Right on the bank was a water moccasin snake.
Oh my God.
Sitting right there. We're literally like 3 or 4 feet away from it. All us guys, not one guy saw the snake. Even noticed it. But your mom did. And it was all because when she was a kid, her grandfather used to walk her out into the woods. So we're talking about not just having boys that as fathers we put out in the outdoors. We can also do it with girls as well. So that was ultimately what we wanted to share with you today. on the Family Business with the Alessis. Come on, be outdoorsy, be adventurous. Get the kids outside, off of the couch, and outside into the dirt. Hopefully you were encouraged today to do so. Take care, and thanks for listening.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video, and click on the notifications bell so you can be notified for all of our future videos. And if you loved today's topic, we have plenty more. And you can click on this link right here to watch all of our videos so you can learn why family is everybody's business.